Hello everyone. We are here today to talk again about what we have been doing in the graphic stack of Faro. We are going to talk about Spec and Toplo. Basically, how to integrate both and using them. Okay, we are both the same, Martin and me. Here are our contact details for if you want to contact us or even in Discord. We are part of the Faro consortium. We are working as engineer. Martin is remotely from Chile. I am in Lille. So, well, that's most of it. So, Martin, you are back?
Yes, hello.
Okay, let's do it.
So, I start, no?
Yes, you can start.
Yes, well. Okay. You listen. Okay. So this is a slide to remember what is Spec-Toplo and Spec in a view of layers, and also this shows album, that is also a project that is not so small, but is very focused. It's a text editor that is used by Toplo, and it's written on top of block. And well, what is Spec? Probably many of you know it, but I think I will do a very small introduction for newcomers. So Spec is a library that allows you to build UI composing presenters. You create a tree of instances of the hierarchy of presenter, SP presenter, and the presenters receive an application. They run in a context of an application, and the application, among other parameters, it gives the presenters a backend. And this is where we have the opportunity to change in the design from morphic backend, as it is used now in Faro, for by a Spec-Toplo backend. There is also the Spec GTK backend that Esteban developed, but well, this is not about that. So well, I will go to the next, please, Pablo. So, well, this is this shows the Kubernetes.
Because one of the key features of Spec is that we can write the application once and run it with many backends. This video has been done by Benoit, and the idea is that you can open the same application in morphic, like you say on the right, in the Faro world, or you can run it with a different backend. In this case, in Toplo. As Martin says, you have also the chance to use the GTK backend, and for the common widgets, they behave the same in the three platforms. Then you can have custom widgets, and then each of it's not guaranteed that the custom widget will be implemented in the backends, but if you build the things on using the standard presenters, it will be available in different backends.
So yes, so and this is a small walkthrough in a small example to remember the design of Spec in a small example, and how the Spec-Toplo is participates in the solution. So this is a small example of almost one of the simplest hello world example, where you create I create a label presenter with an application that has the backend Toplo. It's chosen by name using the symbol, and then we set the label and open it now. So please go to the next. So the entry point for the label for Toplo is here. It's we have an adapter for the label, and there is one adapter in general for each spec widget that is supported by the backend. There is one class that builds as you see, a Toplo label and configures it, setups it. Please, next slide. So there is a subscription in general. So if the presenter changes the label, it has to update in the widget. And next, please. Sorry. And well, the update label here widget is the Toplo widget, and it takes the presenter that it. There is a detail here because the presenter label is a string, and Toplo works. It tolerates that you set a string or a roped text that is the roped representation of a string as well. But here it is. You don't see a difference because it's like polymorphic for that. This is another important part that it wasn't mentioned in the small example, but is the layouts. The spec provides layouts because when you have the presenters composed in the tree, then you can give them how much space they will occupy on the screen. So next. Or if you want to add something, Pablo, you can.
Yes, I am here.
So Spec-Toplo implementation benefits from something great, that is the work of the developers that created generic tests for Spec. So there are now in this screen capture, you don't see a generic test. In fact, this is a Spec-Toplo table adapter test. This is a test written for this backend in particular. But if I would be able to scroll, there are most of the tests that are run are generic, and they are written in base of the behavior for morphic, and then it can be applied to this backend based on Toplo, and this is a huge benefit. It's like TDD for free in some way, but well, also we had always the continuous integration in red, because it's there is always where we will reach the point where we have all the tests that are green and
yes. Yes, it's important because all the backends should behave in the same way. So like that, we have a test that they are backend independent, and it runs in the three backends that now exist. But as Martin says, we are still developing the backend for Toplo. So we will see later. So like for example, this is the idea that we have one test that it works in all the backends. It will execute it's a parameterized test, and it will execute for each of the backends that you configure. In this case, when you have loaded the Spec-Toplo, will run with Morphic and Spec-Toplo, and if you load the backend of GTK, will run also with the backend of GTK. Okay. So why is not green all the tests? Because this is a work in progress, and we are working to have all the widgets integrated with the widget of Toplo. Because we need to do, as Martin's showing the architecture, for each widget an adapter that bridges this difference that there are between the Toplo design or what the Toplo is expecting and what the spec is expecting. So the idea is to have a complete backend that way we have all the test passing. That is our mark that we have covered all the test. And in that scenario will allow us to open all the applications that are spec pure that are inside Faro or any application that is spec pure, and also the world of Faro and the UI itself of Faro for Toplo, for the backend. Where we are, Martin, tell us.
Yes, and one of the points I want to remark of the previous slide is the need to transmit the application of the Spec-Toplo, because the presenters can open other presenters, and right now when we use the tools, sometimes there is some points still a presenter opens another, a tool, some tool, and it doesn't pass I don't pass my application. So the new presenter uses the default, the Morphic backend. It doesn't know that the opener had a Toplo backend. So this is a small detail that is part of the to-dos to catch all this. So
okay.
So one of the improvements in this year was the tables and tree tables. This we have to thank Alan and Benoit. I think mostly they did this work on the tables are able to have the columns with images with checkboxes. The columns can be sorted with a block closure. You have also the tree table tree, so you have a very rich widget that was required to open was one of the big missing widgets for the Spec-Toplo last year, and this time we can say that we have it. So, well, you can go next. Also, we have in a previous issue we showed that there is a way to open Ruasal, the visualization library, with a host with or it has their own backends. Ruasal, it is called host, I think also. The Ruasal by default has a Morphic host, but if you set a block host, it opens in using block elements, and then this now it becomes part of the can become a presenter too, because they exist in Spec the Ruasal presenter, where you set a Ruasal canvas with a visualization with all the interactions and stuff, and we support that you transparently can set the Ruasal canvas to the spec, and it will open in the right Ruasal host. Okay. And yeah, also we count with a div widget this time to tell you. This had to be polished a bit more, but it's a good addition. So, but this is to tell you nothing else to say of this. And several other new widgets. We can, before I remember we didn't have the possibility to set the password to the text inputs, and for example, and also to add a mask for the we support this in the backend. Also, we have we cover many other widgets that you see and as well as layouts, because one of the important layouts is Miller, that is very used in the inspector, for example, to this layout that you can move horizontally among the panels and to navigate the panels. And well, several layouts and adapters that were missing. Now we have them. Pablo will do a live demo very soon, and you will see them in actions. So in the current status is that we have all these 42 adapters or widget presenters. They have an adapter right now. Maybe some of them require some fixes, of course. This is not finished. But we count with all these adapters and 17 that still are not there, but they are not the most essential, in my opinion.
Yes, that if an adapter is missing, it could be in both sides, that we have to write the adapter because we have the widget in Toplo, or also there is the problem when we don't have exactly the widget that represents this widget. We don't have the element in Toplo that we can use to implement the behavior to implement the widget and then the adapter. So that's why it's not only that we need to do these adapters, because, for example, to have the div as we showed before, or to have the three tables, we needed the widget to be done in Toplo, to be implemented in Toplo. For the layouts, yes, we have it's only one layout that is missing, that we don't have implemented. We can polish them and making them visually more attractive, but they are starting to work, and we have tests that are covered with that.
Yes, I add that one of the missing parts of the layouts are correctly take the paddings and margins and apply the spaces, and so be more appealing.
Okay. Now the idea is to show you what we have done or where we are in the migration of Faro or using the Toplo backend from Faro. It's still a work in progress because we are starting to use it, but if it works, as usual. Now it's in the demo time. Okay, I have an image that I have installed the latest versions and the development versions of everything. I can then pass it
Pablo?
to you if you're interested in debugging. Eventually, we want to use it in the image, even if it will be on beta, but
Pablo?
it will be there.
Can you just make it bigger?
Yes, the
Thank
code
you.
is not the important, but I think I can make it bigger. I don't know. Okay, I just open the option here, and it will open a world, the same world with the same options that we have, but this one is with the backend of Toplo. There are some applications that work out of the box because they are built 100% in spec, like, for example, Iceberg. Still, the windows are more limited because the window widget is a little limited, and we need to work in the theme that we have to make it maybe nicer. But for example, we can that we have the operations and all the oops, what? Haha. Okay, I have an issue. That does not work. Ah, yes, here it is. We can use the windows that in this case we have one thing, because if you see it open it in an independent window, we have to modify the spec applications to decide if they want to have it inside the same world or outside. That could be an option, because this concept was not existing in the Morphic application, but now we can create multiple windows, real windows. Can I open both? Yes. See, we can have both windows completely independent. We need to work on, because basically these are the applications. I have not changed the applications themselves to open in the Toplo world. For example, we have the playground here. We can evaluate. I will maximize it. We can evaluate code, example, and it will open an inspector, and the inspector does work like any inspector, because it's a pure application in spec. So this has not been. This is using just the let's say the conversion automatically from one to the other. There are some things that we need to polish. Like, for example, when I open the inspector, maybe you have seen that the columns were not assigned automatically the size. We need to some polish on that, or the style here of the button, but most of the things start to work. Then, for example, I can show you the transcript that is also working. It's printing and having style. Then, well, applications that are easier or simpler, like the system reporter, that they are completely migrated, because they are just using common spec tools. And there are some that still we need to make it work. But for example, Doctor Test, that is other application that is correctly, let's say, is using correctly spec and is using it pure. Does it work? I can run the test here. Well, if you see the progress bar is still launching in the, you have seen it. I don't know if you have seen it. I can do it again. It's still running it in the world, because as Martin says, the application is just saying, run something with a progress bar, and well, it uses the default backend, and it should have been doing delegating to the application object, so we can capture that. But we have, for example, all the tests here that works. So, for example, we can have the finder that works also. Yes, we need to work it on that. And also we have a first version of Spotter, but as I said, it's opening in a new window, because, well, it was done like that because we need to modify how to the applications opens windows themselves. But we are starting to make it work. I don't know if I have much more time, but the idea is that we can start using. And this is the main example for us, is like eating our own food, because if we can make run Faro with the Toplo backend, if you have an application written in spec, you can run it. We are pushing to have all the presenters that we have, because we are using them all over, and we need to continue making. The idea is to have you can use both. Actually, they are in the same world, so they are in the same image, so you can program one or the other. The big, if you ask me, what is the big missing that we have to work on, basically, is our beloved Calypso, that we have to work on because it's not implemented using spec. So that's why, if you remember, in the previous year, we were saying all the time, yes, we are migrating the tool to spec, we are migrating the tool to spec. That we have not finished it. And now we start seeing the results of having the tools migrated to spec. Because we like that, we want to have a work that we can run in Toplo. Why not in other backend? Sorry, but this first stage is like that. If we do the work well, the change in the backend should not be something too noisy. So, well, I have prepared some slides just in case we can go fast because they are just in case the demo fail. And we need to thank a lot the work of Alan. Alan leads all the development of the widget in Toplo. He's not working per se for the binding spec Toplo, but is giving us a lot of widgets and is helping us a lot when we need to create a custom widget. And the other one that maybe you see him in the room is Benoit. Merci Benoit, because he has pushed a lot to do and how to solve the mismatch between the Toplo widget and the presenters. Because even if we are talking each other with the Alan when we are designing, or he's working on the widget API, sometimes it's not exactly the same that the one expected by spec. So it's nice to have a lot of help. Most of the adapters, if you see the code, they are quite straightforward. What is the idea for the future? Well, the idea for the future is that we want, what is the main objective? We want the application working exactly the same in one or the other. We are going to integrate in the Faro image. Will be broken in the first steps, but it will work little by little. We want to have nice interaction between the Morphic and the Topro worlds, because it will be possible, or highly possible, that we are going to have some applications or some tools of Faro that will not be readily migrated to spec. So we need to, for example, be able to do drag and drop from one world to the other. That will be fun. And we really, once we have that, we want to have multi-worlds for real, like having for real, as I show you. If you can walk up, having multiple windows, and maybe, yes, I will like to have one window here with all the iceberg stuff, another window in another screen using what we have only yesterday of the multiple display support in SDL. So we want to profit that. But we need to work that, because nowadays, in both cases, in Morphic and in Toplo, if you want to drag something outside the world, it doesn't work as we expect. Okay, that's mostly all. We are again doing a released version. We are releasing versions regularly of Blog, Toplo, and Spec-Toplo. Usually when we release one, we release the whole set. So you can have, because even if they are separated projects, they are go hand by hand. So it's difficult to work with only one. So you need to keep them all in sync. For doing that, we are doing released versions mostly every 2 months or 3 months, depending on the charge of work, and depending also on having stable ones, because even though, for example, Block and Toplo are more mature and they are more stable, Spec-Toplo is changing faster. So, well, and as you see, we are working a lot to get there. We wanted to show a full Faro. The objective was to show a full Faro for SUG working in Toplo, but yeah, we arrived just to have some of the applications. So thank you so much, and if you are interested, you can contact us in the blog channel, or for any question about blog or any of the related things that we show, even from SDL3, use the Discord server or the mailing list, because like that we can share it with all the community. Your question will be mostly useful for more people than yourself, because we want to generate that. And as I say yesterday, there are a lot of documentation and examples that we can provide, and if not, you can enter in the repository of log on Toplo, and you will find them. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Marta.